Hey everyone! You know how every new year, or really any new beginning, has that mix of excitement and, let's be honest, a little bit of uncertainty? We're always looking for something solid to stand on. Today, we're going to dig into a sermon called Eternal Foundations for the New Year to see what it has to say about finding real, lasting security. So let me just ask you straight up, when you're standing at a fresh start, looking at that blank page, what do you actually lean on? Where do you find your stability? It's a question we all face, and the sermon we're exploring today has a pretty specific answer in mind. All right, so first up, a new year's beginning, the search for security. This is a feeling I think we can all relate to. So the sermon kicks things off with this really powerful image. It pictures the new year as a gate, an entrance into something unknown. And as we're all standing there, it's just this deeply human thing to search for something, anything that makes us feel safe and grounded. Okay, so if we're all looking for that stability, where do we find it? Well, that leads us right into the next big idea, the eternal foundation, a hope that's built to last. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The sermon sets up this stark contrast. On one side, you've got what it calls mortal support. Our friends, our jobs, even our own abilities. It's what we naturally lean on. But it points out a huge flaw. It's all temporary. It's never secure. But then on the other side, it offers this eternal alternative, a constant hope that is, and I quote, safe forever. So where does this idea come from? Well, it's anchored right here in a famous verse from the Gospel of John. The sermon identifies the Word as Christ, and the point is, from the very beginning of everything, this eternal foundation was already there. That really sets the stage for why this hope is so different from everything else. And that brings us to the first of two key components of this foundation, the power of divinity, which is all about having a firm trust. To build this case for divinity, the sermon pulls from the prophet Isaiah. And just listen to these titles: Mighty God, Everlasting Father. This isn't just nice poetry. It's painting a picture of an all-powerful, eternal being, someone who can offer a kind of security that nothing on earth can possibly match. And the evidence keeps building. Here's another piece from the Gospel of Luke. And that title, Lord, is a huge deal. The sermon uses these verses to really drive home the point that the hope being offered is rooted in the actual nature of God. So what's the bottom line? Why does all this divinity stuff matter? Well, according to the sermon, it means your trust isn't just placed in something that can fail or fade away. It's committed to an eternal God. And because of that, your trust becomes stable and firm. The ultimate promise here is that anyone who puts their weight on this foundation is safe forever. But, like I said, that's only half of the equation, because all that power could feel pretty distant, right? And that's why we have Section 4, the comfort of humanity, described as a close companion. This verse from Philippians is the absolute key to understanding this side of it. The idea that this divine being was made in human likeness is a total game changer. It suggests that this isn't some far-off, untouchable power, but one that actually came close, really close. And this just breaks down what that closeness actually looks like in real life. It's not some abstract theory. The sermon gets super personal with it. He's like a brother, someone with tender sympathy, warm affection, compassion, and love. This is the human side that provides all the comfort. So what happens when you combine these two incredible ideas, the infinite power and the intimate comfort? Well, that brings us to the results, our final section, a glorious confidence. It really all comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful equation. It's not one or the other. It's the combination of divinity and humanity that creates this unbeatable foundation. You get the infinite strength of God with the empathetic heart of a human. And this is the big takeaway. This glorious confidence is defined as this deep, settled assurance. It's the peace you get from knowing your hope is both strong enough to last for all eternity and yet close enough to understand you with perfect sympathy. It's really the best of both worlds. Which, of course, brings us right back to where we started. The sermon wraps up by saying that this glorious confidence isn't just a nice thought. It's the perfect shining point. It's that solid, secure spot you can stand on to step into whatever the new year holds. So, as we finish up, I'll just leave you with that final question from the sermon. As you're standing there at the gate of this new year, trying to find your footing, what will be your shining point? What foundation are you going to choose to build on? Thanks for joining me.